Welcome to episode 1 of my podcast, This Thing Called. Join me, your host KJ, as we dive into our first topic, hot music. Today, our first topic of conversation when it comes to hot music is the song Munch. If you haven't heard or know, that song is by Ice Spice. Let's go ahead and dig deep into this song. Now, first I read some controversy where some people don't feel like it's an appropriate song for her or that a female should be singing this type of song. I'm just going to remind you guys, we have a song called Throat Baby out there, so weigh your options accordingly. I will say, though, the concept of Munch is quite interesting. Now, if you don't know what even Munch stands for, Munch is someone, typically a male, whose only use is to eat coochie, vagina, pussy, hot box, whatever word you want to substitute for it, that's what it means. I personally rather like the concept of the song. I can relate to it. One thing that I did think about when it came to listening to the song and watching the video is, has she really had a true munch before? She might understand what the concept is. She might even have friends told her what it is or how to relate to it. But it's just an interesting question for me is if she's really had one personally in her life. You can chime in on what your thoughts are. Now, the next topic of conversation we're going to talk about is Glorilla. She's a hot new female artist that just hit the scene a couple of months ago, and it seems to be that everybody is loving her. Everybody's trying to hop on one of her songs, just like Cardi B did in Tomorrow 2. Now, I will say, if you live in my household, you know I love that song. I keep that song on repeat, whether I'm washing dishes, doing clothes, in the shower. I love Tomorrow 2. Shout out to Glorilla and Cardi B for that song. It gives me the energy that I need, and I can relate to every single word. I also want to shout out Lotto in the FNF remix for her verse. She killed it. I love it. I love Lotto. She's from Ohio. I'm from Ohio. So going back to Glorilla, one thing that I did find interesting when I was looking into her and her origination before she hit the industry, because I really did not know much about Glo until she came onto the scene, was that she kind of got her, standings and her entry into the industry through HitKidd. Now, I did not know anything about HitKidd. I apologize, but lots of people know HitKidd and know that he is well known in the industry. I will say, though, after looking into HitKidd through Glo, I found that he does have a very huge repertoire, and he has worked with a lot of industry people, a lot of artists, great artists. He makes great music. He's an excellent producer. So I definitely do give him his flowers and his shout out. Specifically for one of the recent songs that he released with a group of girls that I found to love. The song is called Shabuya. I believe it's a song that is a Gloss Up and Hey Carbon song. They also have Slimeroni and Elisa featuring on the song. Now, I love Shabuya. When I say as soon as I heard the song before anyone even spoke a word, the beat was fire, and I recognized instantly the whole Shabuya with the roll call and the back in the day cheerleader scene. So that's why I instantly gravitated to it. But then even after listening to how they orchestrated and formulated the song, it was phenomenal. I love how each and every female rapped on that song. I even went into another song that they all did together, Set the Tone 2. Now they do have Set the Tone with Glorilla on it. I will say that I wasn't a quite fan of that song, but I am a fan of Set the Tone 2. Love them on it as well. And after looking at a couple of other songs, I actually grew a love for Slimeroni and Gloss Up. Those two are probably my favorites when it comes to the 4 girls all together. Love Slimeroni. I will say that when I went and looked up Slimeroni's catalog, that I was disappointed in the number of songs that she had available for me to listen to. I do understand as an artist, it is work. It is an artistry when you want to make music and make good music. And the songs she has put out are rather dope. I want to give her a shout out to Got Off. Love that song. She rocked on it. Gloss Up for me, she came with the catalog, and not only did she come with the catalog and available songs, she also hit me with several good bangers, just to name a few. I love her more recent drop, Broke Boy Part 2, and then she has a song with Glorilla, Common Denominator. Also love that song as well. Both of them spit fire on that song. So it was interesting to look into, by looking into one artist, Glorilla, it was interesting how I was able to not only find out about a whole new producer, HitKidd, but then also got welcomed and introduced into a whole nother catalog of Memphis music and female Memphis artists, which I'm a huge supporter of female rappers, female artists. So it was really exciting for me to be able to explore and get into that. So I'm hoping that you guys go ahead and check out a few of their songs. Tell me, give me feedback on what you think about even a couple of the songs I named here. I would love the feedback. Let me know what you think about it. The next song we're going to talk about is, for me, as soon as I saw it for the first time, I fell in love with it. I have not been able to get it out of my head. I saw it about a month ago. To be honest, this song is one of the main reasons why I even decided to start this podcast. It is Kendrick Lamar's song, We Cry Together. Now, if you don't know anything about that song has Taylor Page featuring on it. I love her as an actress. She's been one of my favorite actresses for a couple of years, so I was interested to see her on the song. If you don't know anything about that song or have never watched that video, I would say please go in and watch it and listen to that video. It is a great video when it comes to giving you a 5-second look into what a toxic, or what some people might call a hood relationship is. It breaks down in a 5-minute song almost every major issue that a toxic relationship faces, goes through, from the petty arguments from day to day to the hitting below the belt comments and smart aleck petty remarks that can be done, from even threats on both sides. It just breaks down, and to me, it should be a conversation starter. It shouldn't be something to where you see it and you get upset or you get in your feelings, mainly because you probably went through that or is currently dealing with that situation right now. Probably what you look like to outsiders that be in your house sitting, you watch and fight with your girl or your guy. Or you're out in public at the grocery store having arguments, or you're at the red stoplight. Yeah, that's what people see. If you don't like what you see, then how about we change it? Instead of being argumentative about it or upset about it or not even want to talk about it and shut it down, let's have a conversation on it. Let's speak on it so we can really change certain things when it comes to that culture and it comes to having healthy, happy, prosperous relationships. Now, I will say that one part that he does touches on that's not so much a romantic relationship, but more so on a female friendship relationship thing, is he does touch on why females are the way they are towards each other. And I will say that relates a lot to what, in my personal opinion, Cardi B and Lotto are going through right now. A lot of this back and forth that we see on Twitter and through these comments and through these interviews and these lives, this is exactly what Kendrick was talking about. So women, if you see that part and you get offended by it, there is a real life situation that I can give you that's exactly what he's talking about. So let's change some things. Let's be different. We always want to talk about female power, female empowerment, feminism. And let's really be about what we speak about. And the basis of that is supporting other women, period. To go ahead and wrap up the episode, I appreciate you all for staying with me this time and hearing my thoughts on what I had to say on each and every song that is out right now or that I seem to love and gravitate to right now. I do want to give a shout out to a local group, Doughboyz Cash Out. They just released a new song, We Them Boys, with it. I love to see that they are all together, at least majority of them. R.I.P. to Rock and to Fresh or Josh, but I will say it was great to see the ones that can and were able to be out there, to be still rapping, to be still doing the thing, to still sound great in it. They looked great. They sounded great. I've always known Payroll has been doing his thing and Keese and things like that on their own levels, but it was great to see everyone out there in that song and doing so. And shout out our 42 Dugg. From what Little Baby's saying, he's being released from prison. So shout out to him if that is the case. I hope that he's able to get back on his feet. Thank you all for joining me on this first episode of this thing called. I plan on doing this every week because this is going to be a podcast that talks about life, that talks about love, that talks about sex, that talks about current events, that talks about news, We're going to cover it all. So join me every week. I will see you guys next week.